Hi guys, and welcome to the latest Artist in the Spotlight feature brought to you from Mayhem Rockabilly Productions here in Essex, England. I was approached the other day on Facebook, maybe the other week actually, by Johnny Wildheart himself. He is the lead guitarist and the main man in Johnny Wildheart and the Blue Lights, a band that was formed at the start of this current lockdown. So exciting times for them. He approached me and said, will you do a feature on me for promotion? I said, yeah, of course I will. Mayhem Rockabilly isn't all about established big names in the rock and roll scene. It's also about helping these new guys get their foot in the door and get any sort of promotion that can help me as a company and help them is obviously going to be beneficial. So I sat down with Johnny the other day, and this is his response, and this is information about how Johnny Wildheart started and all things Johnny Wildheart and the Blue Lights. Well, Johnny, thanks for your time. Thanks for stepping forward. Thanks for asking me to do this feature on the band. So how have you all been since the band started and coronavirus started? How have things been with you?
Yeah, no, like we've been okay. We formed during the actual lockdown, so you know, uh, not got much really to miss, unfortunately. I mean, personally, I miss the pubs. I miss the girls, the guys, the banter, all of that. I'm looking forward to that happening again. But I mean, really, we just gave two fingers to COVID. It's been tough, especially our bass player. He's had some family issues with COVID. Me and Louis have been working at our normal jobs in the hospital. Trying to keep everybody safe and that, and bring in some money so we can get some good stuff for you once we come out. Um, but yeah, we're still going to get where we want to get to regardless, and that's the main thing from all this.
So it's a three-piece rock and roll rockabilly sort of band, Johnny. Um, how did you find the other guys in the band? Tell us a bit of background about them personally as well. Give us a little bit of information about them.
Yeah, so I mean, I got into rockabilly. I just started covering songs, on live stream. Our drummer Louis, though, I knew Louis like from old bands. I used to be in a band in Nottingham, and he was in a band in Nottingham. And both our bands we used to like support each other, get gigs together and that, and played his birthday party and things. There's some good footage from back on that party, wild times. I was at university, I was absolutely crazy. No, I'm not kind of crazy now, but I'll let my tone down. But I mean, I always said to myself, made a promise to myself. I said, if I ever get another band, that's the guy I want as the drummer, because he was by a mile streak the best drummer on the scene at the time. So I always promised myself if I did, then he'll be the guy. Because I mean, our bands used to look out for each other and that on the scene. It was just sort of the rock scene, metal scene. And everything blends into one. So, you needed some support, somebody to help you with gigs, help transport and that. And that's really where me and Louis sort of met and sort of bonded. And then he just, well, when he did eventually pop the question, I just had to say, I do. So that was Louis. Curtis, on the other hand, now Curtis is like basically the glue to all of this. I got into rockabilly and I started messaging a friend of his called Sharon. He used to be in some bands, and one of them was hers, I think, I believe. Yeah, don't quote me. I have to ask Curtis. But she used to do during the pandemic. She was doing like live quizzes on 50s rock and roll and rockabilly. So I tuned into that and I asked her the question. I said, "We've got this drummer. I need a need a double bass player. I don't know where to get him from. They're not exactly like selling for free in the shop." So she put him in Curtis's direction, and Curtis had listened to what I'd done and what I was doing, and I thought it's quite a funny story, really, because I mean, I thought at first, I don't know if what I'm doing is right for him. Am I playing this right? Am I doing this, in the style it should be? So all that time I was worried about it. Of course, no hitch whatsoever. But a while later, not that long ago, Curtis did say to me, he said, "Oh, I was quite nervous about, me being good enough for you." So, it's it's one of them weird things. But he's great. He knows everything. Like I say, he's the glue of all this. He knows the rockabilly scene inside out. He does his Liver Foundation charity event as well, which is an awesome cause. And basically, I mean, he introduced me to a lot of artists I wouldn't have otherwise known, shops, clothes. Some of the cats I used to watch on YouTube as well, which was quite funny. I used to be a big, well, I still am a big fan of Cryptic Art, Urchin Greaser, you know. So I used to watch those guys and think, oh, they're so cool. And then, you know, he put me in touch with him. I was like, oh, right, I'm talking to you now. So yeah, he brought all that together. And with the Three Amigos, it really is just heaven. It is one of the best, funnest, easiest bands I've been in. And you guys are going to love it when we come out, because we've been working so hard. We've been working our asses off, come from different parts, but it's all going to gel together and sound beautiful.
And your musical influences, who influenced you? Whose music do you try and try and incorporate in the band's music? Who are the main influences behind Johnny Wildheart?
So, influences. Well, there are three of us in the band. We're all into slightly different things, but at the same time, we all come under the same triage of rockabilly. So, I mean, me and Louis are more also inclined to like our punk music, our metal, brings us into psychobilly. I like my country, I like my ska. Love my ska. I used to be in a ska band. That was one of my things. I've got a lot of friends who are still into that. So there's a lot of crossovers. Curtis is mainly into like his main rockabilly and his bebop music. But he's a dark horse. Sometimes he comes out with stuff. I'm like, I would not thought you would like that, man, but he does. So, you know what? I mean, it's a bit of everything. You could probably say one of these bands and we'll like them. I wrote them on the list mainly because I don't want to try and miss any out. But if I do, I'm very sorry. So as follows, really, like Little Richard, Resurrects, Jerry Lee Lewis, The Delta Bombers, Bob Dylan, The Clash, Big Sandy, Emma and the Ragmen, Lucky Bullets, massive fan of Lucky Bullets, The Misfits, Johnny Cash, anything with Johnny Rotten in, Sex Pistols, Public Image Limited included, and Oasis. And some, I mean, we've got like a lot of our mates who are doing it. So like Dylan Kirk, we love Dylan Kirk's stuff, and you know we talk to him a lot. But no, honestly, anybody who has also got any music that's coming out, I'll buy it. Seriously, because I always like supporting people on the scene. And I've gone ahead and bought a lot of people's music who are, you know, local and really doing it. I'd rather do that really than listen to Top 40 any day. It's not my world. So anyway, that's a little insight into our influences.
You've been promoting on Facebook. You've been sharing the live or a video that you recorded in the garden when you first met up before, outside and social distance and everything like that, which has been shared around. But when did you come up with the idea for the band? When was the initial thought, right, I'm gonna start a rock and roll trio?
Right, so where did I come up with the idea for the band? Well, basically during lockdown, I wanted to get into that kind of music. I already had the name. Any of those who have followed us for a time will know that originally we were called Johnny Wildheart and the Roadrunners. I had that name and I had the painting, which I worked so hard on. But yeah, that was going to be the idea. It was going to be based around the name. But anyway, we obviously changed the name to Johnny Wildheart and the Blue Lights, mainly because we've all got stuff to do with the NHS, and we thought it was appropriate during the pandemic, you know. So we had the idea of the band, and we wanted to basically just get out there and play loads of places and have a lot of fun. Very difficult during pandemic, but that's what we're intending on doing. Well, the other thing we're intending on doing is being one of the hardest working and best bands on the scene, you know. We don't do halves. We only go for the top. So, you know, we want to basically try and get out there and write the best songs possible, which we've done. We've done the whole album's worth. And we want to work with everybody, you know, like anyone who says, oh, I can do this for you. We're always more than inclined to work with you. Or at least give it a shot, you know, and see what we can come up with. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So that's basically the idea behind the band is fun, success, awesome.
So, Big Bad Wolf, the debut single, how's it fared? What are your thoughts personally, and what's the response been on the rock and roll scene? Because I've seen you released it as a single, and you've also released the video online as well, haven't you?
Yeah, response to Big Bad Wolf, it's been good. You know, we've had lots of really good feedback on it. You know, critical feedback as well, not just like blowing smoke up our ass. So that's been great. And consider we've had to really push it because we've recorded it at home, and I home recorded it. Everybody sent their parts in, so that's been interesting to see how that's worked out. And To be honest with you, I was just going to do it as the demo, but it turned out so good in the end that I thought, you know what, let's keep it. Let's do this. We are going to get in the studio and probably do another recording of it in a live kind of way. But the general response has been great. Obviously, we've got 2 videos. We've got the first one where we did the video in the garden. Now, that's an important video because that's the first time we ever played together and we ever practiced. In fact, I think it was like the second time we ran through that song. So, I mean, when you bear that in mind, that's pretty... We're really proud of that, you know. So, I mean, there's us being proud of it and there's what everyone else thinks. Now, I don't normally care what everyone else thinks, but I'm really happy that everyone, you know, really likes it. And like I say, we haven't just had good feedback. We had critical, like, you know, some people have said you can do something different here, you can do something different there, you know, and I appreciate that. So going forward, we can make a good decision about that. But as I say, it's been getting radio play. We made a whole 30 pence of PRS. But it's not about the money, honestly. What we want is we want everybody to listen to it who can enjoy it. And then when we go and do it live, which is our forte, we're going to go and do it live, get people dancing. Curtis has done a brilliant job in terms of making the set list, so it sort of like clicks in with what dances and things are going to happen and that, and it's all going to go like clockwork, fingers crossed. But yeah, thank you for everyone who watched the video and gave the comments. We're totally chuffed with it. We've got the stuff ready to take in the studio. Some more songs coming. So if you like Big Bad Wolf, we're going to have the music video coming. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
No, I for one personally enjoyed the record. It's a bit of a blues bopper, it's a bit of that bluesy sort of rock feel to it, which is not what all bands do. Obviously some are true to the rockabilly, some are true to traditional rock and roll, British rock and roll, but this has got a bit of modern, edgy, that punk background that you said. you brought into it. But when's your first gig now? You've done the rehearsals, and obviously you're going to pick it up again when you can, when the virus allows us to do so. But when is your first gig, and are you looking forward to it? A silly question, I know, but when is your first gig?
So, our first gig is on the 7th of August, and it's at 3 p.m., right? It's the Chain Wolf MCC, First Pack Rally, second take. That's going to be in Nottingham. So we're really looking forward to that. We've been waiting for this for ages now, you know. So the chains are off in a way, and we're just going to go for it. It's going to be party. It's going to be fun. Bring the kids. It's fine. It's a family-friendly event. Get a barbecue, get a beer, have a good time. In terms of gigs, yeah, it's been. I mean, we've had lots of offers, and it's been so it's been difficult in a way, kind of saying, because we didn't know before if the lockdown was going to be off, and we had a couple of offers, things that did go ahead. But I mean, because me and Louis are working in the NHS, we've been really backlogged with time, so we've had to sort of make compromises between this and that. But we have some, like I say, we've got these firmed up gigs now, which is great news. But in terms of the pandemic as well, people have been putting on events like poor Curtis, right? I mean, he does his liver foundation thing every year, and it was all going well all the way to the end. They kept him all the way to the end, and then he had to cancel, which he's never had to do any other year. So that's been rescheduled for next year. But in terms of it, I mean, it's got better now, and that's it. We're going to be doing gigs. If anyone has gigs, we'll take them, because all we want to do is play and party and have a good time.
So it's the final question now, Johnny. Thank you very much for giving your thoughts. Thanks for letting me interview you and asking me to interview you. And what are your plans for the future, rest of this year and going forward? What are your plans with the band? What are your plans for Johnny Wildheart and the Blue Lights?
Well, so the plan for the rest of the year is very simple, really. We're going to carry on writing. We're going to carry on improving what we're doing. We're going to make sure we get it out to you so you can have a really good time to the music. Merchandise will be coming. Some discs will be coming, you know. And basically just try and play every single gig we possibly can. I mean, at this moment in time, we're happy to play in people's basements and stuff, you know. All we want to do is have a good time, get back on the scene, smash it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this interview, and thanks for having me.